The music is working.
Okay. Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. Welcome to the second episode of Disha in Australia. I'm so happy to have you all again. Thank you so much for to each and everyone who has tuned in. I don't know if you're returning or you're new. So, just to give a little background about Disha in Australia, it's basically a show of an 18-year-old girl and her journey about moving to countries and living as an international student. I am Disha Taneja, and I will be sharing my journey of being able to live in different countries and at the same time also exploring and sharing all the experiences that I've gained. And it's more about self exploration, introspection, and a lot of love. To begin with, I want to start with today because I feel like when you just move out, you actually try to find little joys of life, and they are your casual magics of life, and they are like so very beautiful. So for me, I feel like a casual magic of life is anything that just brings a bright smile on your face. It can be anything. So for me, the casual magic of life today was basically rain. As a child and as a person, I have always loved rain. I think they just make you feel alive, they just make you feel so good. And it's just not the rain, but what rain does. It just makes everything so beautiful. The fresh breeze, the wind, and the clouds, the sky, everything. Along with that, we also see the the fragrance of wet soil, which is my absolute favorite. I think whenever there's rain, it is me being super happy. I think rain is like a thing that just makes me so good, just makes me super happy. Share with me what are your casual joys of life, and I would love to read them. You can reach out to me on different platforms. So I'm right now streaming live on YouTube as well. And you can find me on Instagram. It's Tisha3184 underscore. And you can tell me about your casual joys of life. I would love to read them and listen to your stories. So as I was talking about rain, I think rain always takes me back to the memory lane of my childhood. I think I have had a beautiful connection with rain, and it is just so beautiful because I remember just playing around um, in the rain with my friends and having my time of the life. And all of these things just get into your memory and just takes you to those bittersweet moments that you have lived. And the fact that now what I am doing is for this moment. Like right now, I'm here, I'm hosting a show. I don't know if I'll ever be able to relive this moment. Right now, I'm just living this moment. And that is so very beautiful because you never know when you are gonna live these moments again. So it's just that whatever you have, just enjoy this time, just find peace in this time. I think the most beautiful thing I've learned is mindfulness. When you're mindful of each and everything that is happening in your life, nothing, literally nothing more beautiful than being mindful about each and everything happening in your life. I feel like whenever I am mindful and I know what's happening, I can actually feel those moments. Like I'm eating my food and I'm mindful. I know I'm eating my food. I'm, like tasting all the flavors, all the spices, and while cooking as well. When you actually try to feel the magic of cooking, the magic of the environment around you. And coming back to the rain thing that I was saying, so while in rain, when you actually breathe, when you take a deep breath and you feel the beauty and all the fragrance, the fresh air, and it's just so beautiful. because you're alive. I think you're not alive if you don't enjoy the small moments. I think small moments bring so much joy in your life. I think having big moments is a very great thing. Everyone should have big moments in their life, and you know, they just make you feel proud of yourself and make you believe that you have the capability to achieve so much in your life. But when you are in your but when you are in your normal life, there are like these very small moments, something that just makes everything so beautiful, like seeing the star gazing. So like having being able to watch stargazing, being able to walk, wake up. Like waking up is again a magic. You don't know anything about life. Life is like so spontaneous and like so you can't imagine what's gonna happen next. So it's just so beautiful to live in the small moments of life. So now I want to talk about a very interesting topic, which is birthdays. So this is my birthday month, and I have always loved August because it's my birthday month, guys. Come on. Okay, so my birthday month, and birthdays have always been a special deal for me, and I feel like every time whenever there's my birthday month, I get excited. And like I've seen so many times that if you yourself are not excited for something in your life, no one else will be. Coming back to what I said the last week, so what you um, what you appear to the world is exactly how they're going to perceive you. So whatever I am showing you right now is exactly how you're going to perceive me, right? And so for in terms of birthdays too, so if you see yourself like in a very gloomy mood in your birthday and like not wanting to do anything, or just having a very blatant birthday, it's just like not something that you are passing on to other people as well, right? So birthdays for me have been something that makes me happy, and whatever brings happiness in your life is something extremely beautiful because it made you smile. For me, birthdays, like my parents always have done special efforts on my birthdays. I've loved celebrating birthdays. I think those days are like specifically mine. This is my day, you can't take this. And it is like so very um something that belongs to me, and I'm the main character that day, and I'm the person all around doing everything that I want to and being all over the place. And like, today is my birthday, you are supposed to act what I say. And I feel like if this is the confidence that you can get on the day when you actually feel special. And how do you feel it? You feel it from the inside. So from the inside, that you know that it's my birthday, I'm the main character, and I'm gonna slay. So this is something that you have from the inside, and this is exactly what people are gonna perceive. So on your birthday, you might see everyone around you pampering you, and listening to you and obeying whatever you are saying. But what about in real life, in this normal day-to-day life right now? So if you're gonna go with the same attitude now, also with the attitude of, okay, I am gonna do my best today, I'm gonna be a 10 today, this is the energy that you are sort of passing on to everyone. And everyone is going to perceive that, everyone is going to take that energy, and you are going to live the life the way you want to. So I feel like whatever you think actually happens if you put the energy into it, right? So coming back to my birthday month and like birthdays in general, I feel like um, if I talk about birthdays now versus how we used to celebrate it in childhood, in teenhood, and like how you see your parents celebrating their birthdays, it's just so different. And it's not only birthdays, but like so many things have changed as you grow up. So, like, if I go to developmental psychology, or like changes across the lifespan, so from how was the perception of childhood for us when we were in childhood versus how we perceive childhood now? I feel like um, we have always been into this cycle of not enjoying what we have in the moment right now, and just trying to go into a different stage in your life. So like in childhood, you always wanted to be a teen who wants to go out and like who is not under anyone's control and can do whatever they want to. And as a um, as a teenager, you always think about, oh, childhood was so better, I was able to do so many things, and I had no pressure in my life, and I was able to do whatever I want to, I was able to achieve whatever I wanted to achieve. And that's the cycle that keeps on going. So in teenage, you want to go back to childhood, in childhood you want to go back you want to go to teenage, and it's never ending. And the only thing that can end this cycle is when you actually live in that moment and you feel like this is the moment that is not going to return, so how about I live it? Connecting this to being an international student, so it's not that we don't miss our homes, we do miss our homes. And home is something really really special. Home is not just your house or like something made of bricks or like walls or having furniture in it. Home is made of people when you actually feel like home. And for the longest time I felt like home is basically when I see my parents around me, I see my brother around me, and that is what is home for me. But I sooner realized home for me is the feeling. So whenever I am at my dorm and I want to feel like home, I sometimes just, you know, just cook dal chawal, which is one of the most comfort food I have ever had. And the funny fact is, I didn't used to like dal chawal at all in India, and now here I'm like, this is the only thing that makes me feel like home. What else makes you feel like home? Your friends, sometimes when they do like special efforts, it just makes you feel like, oh, I'm back home. Someone is pampering me. People are loving me. This makes me feel home. And the fact that you'll always not receive love. So with love also comes a lot of hatred. But it's just that when you decide to overpower everything and look at what you really like. So I like seeing love, so I'm focusing on love. And it's just a matter of perspectives. So as far as I remember, birthdays in my childhood were like completely different, with a lot of people gathering, my relatives, my cousins, my friends, my whole neighborhood, and it used to be like a big affair. And I'm sure it must be the same thing for everyone, right? Because parents are also excited for the children's birthday, children are extremely excited, your siblings, your friends, everyone is like so hyped, oh, your birthday is approaching, you need to do something, and this and that and that. And you have like a very big and a giant affair, right? So you have the house is decorated with balloons, and like all the food items are here, there's a giant cake, you are dressed up like um, extremely beautiful. You get new clothes, new night suit, new day wear, new party wear, and whatnot. But as we move forward, so like in teenhood, or like when in before teenhood, basically in adolescence or something, it just turns out to be a little smaller, with less people around you, not many relatives, some of your cousins, some of your friends. And I remember there was this time when I was like 9 or 10 years old, when we used to invite the whole classroom. So like if there are 40 people in my class, I would go on and invite every person in my class so that no one feels bad. And that was not just me. I feel like everyone used to do the same thing. We used to have these envelopes in which you write that invitation, you write the name of that person, and you write your address, and you invite them and you literally give that envelope to every person in your classroom. And that used to be such a fun time. And as you started growing, you started to realize, okay, now let's just keep it a bit smaller. And then it moved on to a close knit circle and in teenhood with like a couple of friends, like 4 5 friends, and that's just it. And when you moved more forward, you felt like, okay, maybe just one friend and like having a birthday cake or a birthday dinner with friends is enough. And if you compare the same thing with your family, with your parents, how you see them having their birthdays, it's completely different. Because I have never seen my parents celebrating their birthday the same way like I do. For me, my parents' birthday is basically a very close knit birthday with just my like our family, which is my mom, my dad, me, and my brother, and like my aunt. That's it. That's like literally it. And it's just cake cutting and having a small, um, family tradition of going to dinner. But I feel like now, if you change the narrative to them celebrating birthday on a very big note, like having a huge party, it must be something really awkward and different for them. Because we as a society have normalized birthdays for each age. So, for like, as in terms of children, your birthday should be a giant affair. But in terms of when you are a parent, your birthday should be very closed. Your birthday should be in a very close knit atmosphere, right? So, I feel like as a society, when you start normalizing certain things and when you want to go beyond that particular thing and you want to escape out of the ordinary and want to do something that is different from what you used to do, it just becomes questionable. And you are not the only person who questions yourself, but also the people around you, because we have normalized that particular behavior. And that that just makes, like, so how can you say that you are free to do whatever you want to when you are actually dependent on how society thinks about you or how people actually think about you? I feel like um I live in a country where we have the freedom of speech, or freedom to do anything that I want to, right? But I literally feel that you do not have the freedom to do anything you want to, because there are a lot of pressures by the society, by the people around you, on you. And those people can be in your very immediate atmosphere. They can be your friends, they can be your peers, they can be your family, and they can be your relatives around you. So I feel like um, that's probably the reason why there's like the absolute change of how we celebrate birthdays now versus then. Also in terms of happiness, so I feel like as you just keep on growing, you start finding happiness. I feel like there was nothing like I'm finding happiness as a concept when we were young or like in the childhood. It was basically all around us, right? I never actually really can remember anything of me finding happiness. But now it's just like, it's so stressful, I'm not happy, I just want some happiness, I'm finding happiness around me, I'm trying to catch things that makes me happy, I'm trying to look at the people around me, I'm trying to look at the nature, I'm trying to look at the birds, something that makes me happy. But why do you need that something if you actually start to live in that particular moment? So yeah, happiness is all around you, right? You don't have to find it, it's just here. Like for me today, just walking and finding a rainbow laureate was happiness. Or like having the opportunity to host a show today is happiness. Seeing these lives is happiness. Going back on my YouTube channel, I think this is the first video in around like 13 or 14 months now. It's happiness, it's sheer happiness. And even after being super inactive on my YouTube channel for about a year now, I still see people seeing my live and like commenting so good. So it's just happiness. It's all around you. You don't actually have to go venture out and like find happiness. It's just there for you to catch, right? So that's one of the major things that I was thinking about today. And um, as an international student and coming over here, um, I do miss my home, but when you're not able to go back, because obviously I can't be like, okay, I'm missing home today, I'm going back to my home on the weekend. That's not possible. But I feel like when I go out and I actually am around earth, or like basically the nature, I just feel home, because your mother nature is basically your mother, and like you feel home. And that is something that I realized. So a lot of times when I say like I love exploring, a lot of people say that, what do you mean by exploring? Exploring is, what is exactly exploring? Everything is already on Google Maps, and where you want to go, you just find directions for it. Everything is discovered, and everything is just around you. You don't have to go and like, find something, right? But for me, exploring is seeing things from my viewpoint. I know everything is on Google Maps and like everything is discovered, but I have not seen it. I have not actually been there. And I think experiences are very, very subjective. So how you have felt in a particular atmosphere is completely different to how you'll be feeling, how another person will be feeling in the same atmosphere. So for me, living abroad as a student is a very overwhelming experience. I kind of love it, but at the same time, I also find sometimes when I don't like it and I want to go back home. So it's like mixed emotions, and there are a lot of factors associated with that. But another international student might just not find the environment comfortable and at all, and they might have to just go back home because they couldn't, like fit in here, right? So your experiences are super subjective, and how you perceive is subjective as well. So for me, exploring is more about when I go and I basically just sit down and just look around me, and that automatically brings a smile on my face. And that's so, and that's so very beautiful, because living in a living in a room with like four walls, and it's just it becomes a bit depressing how like we call a place with four walls a home, right? A place that just, you can go there, you can sleep, you can watch TV, you can have your own privacy. That's home for us, right? But after a point, it becomes so depressive that you can't be in these four walls, and they become a prison for you. But the moment you try and like want to escape out of this, and you just go and go in like the normal atmosphere, like basically you just step out of your home, you absolutely feel happy, and that's super instant. So from the environment which is like super depressive, I go down to an environment with nature and like beauty all around. I feel so happy, right? And that again connects with the casual joy of life. And along with the aspect of exploring, now I go out, and I don't know how many people have been through the same lane 100 times, but I go through that lane and I feel happy, because I see these little birds around me. I see these little trees. I see old English buildings and something that I've not seen. So it's like me exploring and finding different things for me, like going and just seeing different species of birds. It just makes me happy. And happiness and exploring together combined makes me super happy. So I think while you are discovering your time here, it's just absolutely wonderful, because you have so many experiences. And um, as I said in the last podcast as well, say yes to experiences, say yes to heaven. I don't know how will I return back to India, but I'm definitely sure I'm gonna go back richer in experiences, and that's the only thing I've ever wanted, going back rich in experiences. And that is so, and that is such a slay. Okay, I can show it off because I'm going back with a lot of experiences, and that is what I am telling everyone right here who is listening, that if you get an opportunity, just say yes to it. Just don't think a lot, because when you start thinking a lot, you tend to miss out a lot of things. So I remember I went on a trip to the snowy mountains, to Tumbarumba, and I was supposed to go there with a friend, and I was just counting on her. I was like, yes, we both are gonna go, and it is gonna be the best time of our life, and we will enjoy a lot. Just like literally 8 hours before the trip, she canceled the trip. And I was like, oh my God, we were supposed to go at 6 a.m. in the morning, and you are literally canceling this at 10. And I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? Because the only person I was counting on just ditched me at the last moment. And I was like, what do I do next? But again, coming back to, when you say yes to experiences, these experiences are personal to you. So this is one thing that I realized, that even if everyone just says that, like, if anyone just ditches you or like cancels anything, you should always go. And I'm so glad I still managed to wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I went to that trip. Even though she canceled, and I went to that trip, and initially I was like, I literally am not close to any person on that trip, and it would be super stressful for me. But I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the best trips of my life, because it was just so beautiful, because I decided that okay, if she's not going, I have to go, because I want this experience in my life. I don't know when I'm going to get this opportunity to go to the snowy mountains again. And I just went. It just, my gut said that you should go, and I went. And I can't even tell, it was such a beautiful experience. I was able to see a lot of things that I didn't even expect. It was not even in the itinerary. We saw the forests that were burned down in the bushfire in 2019 in Australia, and like a lot of things. And i I just literally thought one thing, if I would have, missed it out for that friend, because she's not going, so I might want to skip. Would she be doing the same thing if I was in the opposite situation? So if I would have cancelled, would she be going there? And my gut said yes, because it's your loss that you're not going, but it's not their loss. So if they are staying, it might be because of some reason or something, right? So I felt like it's just my personal choice. If I want to go back and be like, okay, she's not going, I might not go to. But if you think at this particular thing differently, it is just so different. So if you were not going, will your friend leave it out for you? And most of the times the answer would be no, because no one skips that, right? So I just went with my instinct, and it was so beautiful. And with this, I also think that um, your body is the greatest superpower that you have. So your body actually tells you when there's danger. Your body gives you the best instincts. Your body tells you what is best for you, and you should always, literally always trust your gut. I feel like um, it's just you who tells you the right way. And I have actually felt it, because if you go with how you feel, it's just completely different from you going by what people expect you to feel. And it's just so different. And coming here, I also went on to a lot of events. So it was like my sixth or seventh day over here when I was also supposed to go on an event. And like it's a normal thing in university, guys. People will cancel on you, people will ditch you in certain things, but you are here for yourself. So go on and have all the experiences that you always wanted in your life. And it is going to be so very beautiful. And I'm not even kidding. Just try it once. It is so good because it just makes you feel so confident about yourself. And at the end of the day, I went to that trip, I went to the events where my friends canceled. I am so very happy that I did, and I'm so proud of myself. Very recently, like not even a week ago, the same thing happened again, but I still chose to go. And I am not kidding, but I just formed such good bonds with people because I didn't know anyone there. So I just went there and like started socializing with people, and it just became so good automatically. I don't know how, but I was able to form so good connections with people. And finding more international students, and even Australians, and like getting to know their culture. And that's the best part of like living abroad. I have always felt this, that whenever I'm abroad, I just love talking to people, because people for me are like books. They have so much to say. And all of us are living a different life. So my life is completely different from your life. You live a different life, I live a different life. It's just completely different. But what I feel is like these differences make your life a very unique experience. So when we read autobiographies or the lives of people, it's just that basically we're reading their lives, right? And it's just so beautiful in itself, because you are able to live you are able to live that particular person's life through the book. But I feel like when you're actually having a conversation with them, they have so much more than to say, and like so many things to say that words can never describe. And it just makes everything super beautiful, because you hear another person's story, they hear your stories, and you realize that we all have a common ground. And there's always this little something that connects all of us. And it is one of the most beautiful things that I've experienced over here. um I also want to just, okay, so this is the last topic that I'm discussing for this week, which is basically, um I just want to say that experiences are really beautiful and something you don't want to miss out. So I just want to say that whenever you have an opportunity to get your chance to actually go on a trip, go on an event, or do anything that you really, really like, always say yes. Never say no. it's it is gonna turn out into something that you have never ever imagined in your life, and it is gonna be superb. It is gonna be beautiful, and you're always gonna love that experience. With this, I am concluding this week's podcast, and I really enjoyed having my time here. I hope you all also had a pleasure here. And to everyone on YouTube and on Voroni Live, I'm super grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. I'm still learning, so I hope I did a good job, and I'm proud of myself. And that's self validation, guys. I think there's a scope for all of us to improve, and I always appreciate constructive criticism. But at the end of the day, you should be proud of yourself that you are doing the things that you always wanted to do, and it's just so beautiful, right? So, with this, I finish off with my second week's episode. I hope you all had fun here. And thank you so much for tuning in. It was lovely having you all. And I'll see you next week. Thank you. So with this, I just concluded my radio show, and thank you so much for everyone who joined in. It just means a lot to me. And back on YouTube after a while, I hope you all had a very pleasant time over here. Thank you so much for joining in. It means a lot to me, to everyone who's watching right now. Lots of love, love, love. Thank you, Diva fam.